because this here is going to be the third match between these two teams, featuring the Skull Kids on your left being represented by Ramond, and the Sexy Ganons on your right being represented by Freddeh. This is the current... No, it's not. This is going to be Cross Keys. We got everything wrong, don't we? I'm here joined by Ninjembro. We'll get these things fixed. How's it going?
Hey, I'm doing pretty well. How about yourself, Rick?
At least I hope that it is going to be Cross Keys because, yeah, I have everything set up for this. Yay, we got it fixed, just before the race.
All right, now we are officially doing cross keys.
Absolutely. This is what I come here prepared to do. And I'm prepared to do it here with Ninjembro as we're off and running in the Wisdom match. And both of these runners are going to be starting at the Sanctuary to see where this goes. Where do you think the Sanctuary is?
I'm hoping for CAC. It's always nice as a cross keys runner to get a Kakariko, but looks like we're right at Hyrule Castle at the Uncle spot.
Yep, Freddie's going to go with the green bomb to try to kill the guard so he can track that first tree pull. And we get bombs. So
You'd love to see it.
Check that Hyrule Castle entrance, or the Hyrule Castle back 3 in just a moment. But we also get Waterfall Ferry where there are more bombs. And our first key to be found, Dark Palace.
Yeah, having a tier 1 tree pool of bombs is really nice for this mode just because you really don't know when you're going to find your first weapon.
And to double up on that, you don't know when you're going to find a bomb shop.
Yeah, that as well. Looks like we do see Ramond here heading over to Back of Escape. 3 real quick checks. You know, in cross keys, you want to get as many checks out of the way early as you can in hopes of finding that weapon.
And maybe we can find a weapon there. That's not a weapon, but that's going to make things a whole lot easier and fun here in cross keys.
And we do have the save and quit here to Link's house, just with 50 bucks.
For me, I don't like that starting location for the Sanctuary because usually the way that a lot of runners do it, and I'm surprised that Ramond's not opting to do it, but I maybe just wanted to find out where the Sanctuary was going to go, is you often would make the drop down at Hyrule Castle one of your last checks after you get done checking Kakariko Village and getting your money, but so far we are going both in the same direction, and Ramond getting a little faster access to the bombs and killing off the guards currently has a little bit of an exploration lead as we find the right of the Quarreling Brothers to be a fortune teller.
Yeah, and it looks like, you know, I believe, you know, heading straight to Kakariko here with that flute, and especially with such a bad location for Sanctuary, really makes a lot of sense. They want to be able to have that quick traveling option as soon as possible to just zip around, check entrances, and, you know, start really getting this seed underway. It looks like we have Smiths at the library. Pretty convenient location, if I do say.
Yeah, that'll be a quick mirror when we do actually get the Breadsmith chain going. As we find the bottom of the Bumper Cave.
And we find the bomb shop already. And we find Turtle Rock and Ice Palace for our 5-6 crystals.
Yeah, getting that information is pretty solid early on. We have a little bit of a divergence as we find the well is going to be requiring a hammer to get into this this run.
Thieves Hideout here on Ramond's side. Nice 5-item check.
Yeah, it's really good when you get these 5-item checks out of the way, especially when it provides you with your first weapon with that sword.
Yeah, you love seeing that sword super early, and we do get our first GT small as well. Not a whole lot else coming out of there, but you're happy just to find a sword, honestly.
We do find a dark cave over at the what would be Hotel Mario location for Freddy, which without a weapon is not something that we would see him explore. But we'll see if Ramond opts to find out which cave that is when he steps inside. Now, we do find another connector over here at the chicken coop.
Yeah, I stepped back out and said, oh wait, I should probably scout that. And we do see a bottle with a B.
And more importantly, that's going to be another one of our connectors here in just a few. Maybe that will take us somewhere where we need to go. As we find the one spot that is guaranteed vanilla, which is the back of the tavern, and we find a big key to Ganon's tower.
Of all the big keys to find, I feel like that's one you just don't really want to see.
At that point in time, you, I guess, get into the resolution that you're probably going to wind up having to explore the heights of GT at some point. All right, that right there is how Ramond falls down into a pit. Sounds like that is the backside of the Death Mountain Descension Cave.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking myself. So, Ramon says, we'll save this for later.
Yeah, being at 2
So
hearts
many.
right now is not necessarily the best play to make, especially considering the fact that it is, number one, a connector, and number two, you still have locations here in Kakariko Village that you want to take care of.
Right, I mean, Keck being so low, so entrance dense, not much of a reason to follow an out of logic connector super early.
Yeah, you might consider doing it after you're done getting the entrances here, but you might not because of the fact that you want to go get that guaranteed item over at the Lost Woods.
Mm-hmm. Not to mention the bottle vendor.
Yeah, which we do have enough rupees for, 111, and Freddy will have those rupees in just a moment as well. But it doesn't turn out to be anything of necessary, and another item to Ganon's tower.
And we find Thieves Town. So definitely going to see Ramon do the front four here.
Ooh.
Finding a fire rod, very nice.
First four already paying out here, but by way of that fire rod, don't have any magic to use it at this stage. However, good to have. And this early run is going pretty well as far as setting yourself up for an upcoming Death Warp. Now, you notice that Ramond did stick out the sword here. That's because he doesn't want to get hit by any of these enemies trying to get to these last two chests, because these enemies do 2 hearts damage, and he has 2 hearts right now.
Yeah, and you never want to get hit right on the right in the last second getting to these checks.
And the Quake Medallion, the final item here. Now we will take that death back to start, and that way we can go ahead and do a little bit more exploration. So we didn't obviously have much of a chance to go ahead and talk about these two teams. Skull Kids now sitting at a 2-0 series lead in this best of 5 series. This would be the second game in the books, but officially this is the third game that these two teams have ended up playing. And Skull Kids going for the chance to sweep this series. Ended up getting a nice win between Shireen and Fant earlier today.
We do find Uncle over here at the well, giving us another big key to Misery Mire.
Big key that we may have to use at some point in time in this run. You're never upset about finding that big key. There are 3 big keys that you get upset finding in this game. Actually, technically 4, maybe even 5 at this point, considering the tricks that we play in this game. We do see one of our entrances to Hyrule Castle.
Yeah, and I'm curious to see when Ramon decides to go back and start checking that. We also find a Turtle Rock entrance. Although with that flute, very quick to get back to Hyrule Castle. But we do see Freddie's going to head in as we find a hookshot cave just outside Kakariko at the fortune teller.
And I think that flute might be the big reason why you didn't see Ramond wind up going into Hyrule Castle, especially considering the fact that at this stage, only this item right here is in logic.
Yeah. And we do see Freddie heading to the back, which does make sense because we already were able to do the drop down into the back of Escape. So even though these items aren't in logic, we're not orphaning anything by heading to the back to the Zelda cell here. And we do find Thieves Town, big key.
Yeah, that's an interesting one to find in a Spear 1 location like that. Makes you wonder what is down there in the Maiden Cell. And another connector. And the hammer is currently Hyrule Castle small key blocked.
And we do find that the magic bat is locked behind Aga 1. So as a runner, you're just really hoping that nothing is that magic bat.
Well, because we're down to 2 drop downs to this stage. And Freddie setting himself up for a death warp. Now, Dark Cross is in logic. Do want to remind you, Dark Cross is in logic. Because of that fire rod that we found in Thieves Town. And therefore, Freddie's going to be able to check this. Ramond, nice bomb jump.
So, chat pointing out, and I've heard this before, Dark Cross apparently not in logic in cross keys because of the fork of the logic that is used.
Yep.
But that's something I just learned very recently myself.
Speaking of lamp, there it is.
The lamp.
Okay, so yeah, it uses the older logic that predates the advanced logic that we use at this stage. That's understandable. That's my bad. Freddie's got. Oh, yep. Freddie takes the death there, trying to get through Dark Cross. Doesn't have enough juice to really use a lot of fire rod shots, but I'm surprised he didn't at least try to get one of the torches lit. It's gonna try it one more time.
And it does seem that Ramond, got that big key to Thieves and said, you know what? Not even thinking about it right now.
It's because he's missing one other component to it.
Yeah, the hammer and the small key.
Yeah, and that's the thing is that if you wind up going at this early and there's something important inside of your Thieves Town big chest, you're setting yourself up for a world of hurt. And the amount of cross keys that Ramond plays, he's been burnt by that before. Anybody who's done all dungeons key sanity or a mold like cross keys, you've been burned by this. You don't do it ever again.
Yep.
All right. Freddie is now going to be in this last section here. One final fire rod. Oh, he misfired the torch. Now he's got to just try to figure out where that chest is. I think he's got it. Just a piece of heart.
Yep. Meanwhile, Ramond finding half magic right outside at the Lake Hylia shop.
Yeah, that was in Bonk Rocks. The Bonk Rocks cave was the entrance that Ramond found there, and Freddie takes the death, and we find the top of Turtle Rock. So we're down to three, never mind. We're down to 3 remaining openings. We still have the Lost Woods open drop down. We have the Useless Fairy drop down, and then we also have Ganon.
Yeah. We did see Lost Woods on Ramond's side. It was, I believe, it was Lumberjack.
No, I meant the Lost Woods drop down, the drop down itself.
Oh, right. I see what you're saying. Meanwhile, we do find Mirror on Ramond's side. This scene is just giving us everything.
And we find Sahasrahla up on the mountain. green pendant is Thieves Town, of course. We do find the big key to swamp. Yay.
And the blue mail, which is still sitting at 3 hearts. You're kind of happy to find that. And we find Laser Bridge.
All right, watch Ramond check these chests. Never mind. I was gonna give him praise for how good he is at doing this. Paradox Cave found another big entrance.
Yeah. 7 items.
And there's a little bit of finesse that you see runners do when they do this. You see they hesitate just a little bit to allow the laser to go by so that way they can get through unscathed. It's a very important trick to learn when you do cross keys because you never know. Nice bomb there from Freddeh. You never know when you have a situation where you might need to do something of that nature. We find Sick Kid. We know where our bottle is, but we can't get there yet.
And we do see Ramond here heading over to the witch's hut and finding King's Tomb.
By the way, this stuff that Freddie's checking right now, that's the Hashra check as well as this, it's in logic because of that flute.
Yep.
Even though the manner that Ramond ended up, or rather Freddeh took to get to this point is out of logic, it's in logic because of the flute that gives you access.
Looks like we found a desert entrance. And we also find Ice Palace on Dark Death Mountain.
Yeah, so we did find the connector that took us over to the, what was the Spike Cave entrance, which is the upper paradox where Freddeh came out. Took that down to the bottom, found Ice Palace. We found a nice another multi-cave, and there's our first bottle. So now Ramond can check that Sick Kid if he wants to at flute spot 5.
Yeah, and it's already getting that flute ready to head straight back.
So Desert main entrance was located at the swamp. And there's the flute to 5. Check the Sick Kid. What does he have for us today? By the way, hammer for the well for Freddeh. Let's see what we got. 5 items in there too. Nothing
and
yet.
all out of logic to boot.
Yeah, that's right, because it's behind the Hyrule Castle small key. However, it was just good enough for a small shield, 20 rupees, and 1.5 hearts.
Not the best.
So Ramond went up to the up to Death Mountain here. Got lucky with the fact that the first spot he found was a fairy cave because he needed a little bit of a refresher, considering the fact that he was down to 1 heart, and these boulders do 1 heart damage. All right, so Freddeh's going to go through here and check these last remaining spots that we saw from Ramond earlier here into the Lost Woods. As I mentioned before, we have 3 entrances that are still unknown to us as far as the drop-downs are concerned. We still have the Useless Fairy, we still have the Ganon drop-down, and we have the Lost Woods drop-down. One of them is going to be at the Sanctuary drop-down, one of them is going to be at Useless Fairy, and of course, one of them requires Ganon's Tower to be completed. What do you think it's going to be?
My guess, I think Ganon is going to be at Useless Fairy. I'm just feeling it.
Yeah. Although that GT Big Key being a Spear 1, maybe it's giving it to us for a reason.
You know, chat loves to see that. The runners, not so much.
Yeah. But at least you know if it does become that case, you know you need to do GT, so you have to do it. It's not like it's a, do I go up the tower? It's not an agonizing decision. You have to go up, so you go up.
And not only that, by the time you kind of have all that information, like you already have the GT Big, you have some small keys, you'll probably have the hook shot and the bow at that point. So all it really is a time inconvenience.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so Ramond's gonna be, I think, a little more annoyed the fact that he's gonna find Upper Paradox by way of doing it this way. Oh no, never mind. He's got the mirror, so he's gonna be able to check up here as well. The one thing he doesn't have is the hammer, so he can't check. Oh, there's the small key to Hyrule Castle. There's where you're supposed to get the hammer.
And there's a Bombus medallion.
So that explains how you're supposed to get the hammer. Now, that mirror, where was that mirror again? And the other thing nice about that mirror, by the way, is the fact that Ramon's going to be able to, after he's done completing this set here, will be able to check that lower paradox, which Freddeh wasn't a little skittish about because he couldn't get back.
Yeah. And there's the lamp from Freddeh.
Okay, being told that it was Gina's cave. That's the Hasrula's hut. I remember it was over there in the eastern area. Just didn't remember what cave we had seen. So thank you to the chat for pointing that out. And Old Man giving us a small key to Ice Palace. That's 2 Ice Palace smalls already.
Yeah, this seed is not being very shy in the early game.
And Ramon's about to get that hammer, so who knows what we're going to plan on doing after that. Now, since we already do have 2 Ice Palace smalls, now comes up the question. Do you dive Ice Palace after getting the Moon Pearl? The answer is no, because you still need a glove to beat it. That's one of the things, that's one of the biggest traps when you do cross keys, is you forget that there is actually a need for a glove to beat Ice Palace.
Yeah, although I think if you have the glove but you don't have the Moon Pearl, you might go in and do it anyway.
Well, yeah, but the glove is the bigger trick there.
Yeah, without the glove, I think these runners are going to try to avoid Ice Palace as long as possible.
Well, yeah. Because that's the biggest trick right there, is you get down to the 6th floor, you're about ready to go into Cold Stair, and... oh yeah. Right, yeah, can't do this.
We are about to see the Useless Fairy drop down.
Useless Fairy drop down is our Lost Woods drop down, so we're down to Useless Fairy and Ganon. One of them is at the Sanctuary, the other one, you need to go and defeat Ganon's tower in order to get into. 20 rupees, the reward for, well, yay. The 20 rupees is the reward for dropping down to the Lost Woods drop. Freddeh making the way over, and we will get that information. Is Ganon's tower going to be required to get to Ganon? What do you think? Yes or no?
At this point, I'm going with yes. It wasn't my original guess.
No.
Oh, no.
Useless Fairy is at the Ganon's drop down. I'm finishing off this Hyrule Castle. Gonna check out the other entrances, just like we did see from Freddeh, as Freddeh's about to get into the Hype Cave, where some of the other goodies that he's been looking for will await. Did Freddeh check this? I don't think Freddeh checked this.
I don't believe so.
Cave entrance. It's nothing.
But it's a whole lot of nothing.
All right, so we're gonna flute back to 3. Yeah, we're gonna check the well. Ramond's checking the well, which we saw, so he'll get his heart and a half and 20 rupees, as well as the first shield. Freddie checking the sick kid location here with the bottle in hand. Get the nothing from the sick kid as well. I'm wondering if we have to go through desert to do anything, because that's going to be one of our next stops here, I think, is to explore the other two entrances to desert. But Freddie didn't get these two lower entrances in his first trip in. Didn't free the old man either, I don't think.
Nope. And also we'll be able to head up to Hera and also pick up that Hyrule Castle small key.
Freddie did get the mirror, right?
That is actually a good question. Yeah,
Freddie
did not.
Freddie did not, according to our trackers. Shoutouts to Ikir and Soul last summer doing the button clicking for us. And we'll check these remaining entrances. Find Eastern Palace.
Yeah, we did not see that on Ramond's side. Yeah, we just see a heart piece on the torch at desert.
And now it's time to explore where the entrance over here on the left goes. Oh, that's
just
beautiful.
Over to hammer pegs.
No hookshot and no moon pearl to help allow us to clip past that lift stone.
And we're going to go right back in and see where the front goes, because surprisingly, we are already running low on entrances at the very least. Of course,
a few items that could open up the pathway to us having more places to check, like the glove would open up the lift rocks that we have. The boots would open up at least 2 new entrances to us. And that entrance on the desert opens up a couple more entrances for us too.
Yeah, because now we have full access to East Death Mountain here. Well, not full access, but quite a few entrances. And so far, Eastern Palace coming up very empty on Freddie's side.
Yeah, chat inquiring about what is the sprite that you're seeing over on our runners. Would you like to fill in who our runners are playing as their sprites?
Oh yeah, so on Ramond's side we have, I don't believe it is Hollow Knight. I know it is a Hollow Knight character. But which character it is? Okay, I'm being told it is Hornet. It's been a while since I've played that game. And on Freddie's side, we have Ori from the Ori games.
And if Ori looks a little different, it's because we already have the blue mail, which Ori then turns into the blue sprite, and of course red mail would have it turn into the red sprite. So that's the explanation to who our runners are playing for their sprite choices.
The Eastern coming up empty, and so far East Death Mountain coming up empty as well, but we do find Spiral Cave, which is yet another connector that we may be able to follow here.
Yay.
I think this is going to pop us out in the mire area.
Yay. I have a love-hate relationship with this location. Mostly hate. Nope, can't do much there.
We do see Freddie over here saving the old man.
So, looking at my current estimation, we have old man. Oh, okay. That's interesting. Old man takes us out at the pod entrance.
Yeah, which gives us access to the pyramid item.
Which could very well be the Moon Pearl.
And the 3 entrances at the top of Hyrule Castle.
2 of which we can get to at this point. The other one, well, we need a little more devices there in order to do so. The back of Old Man leads us to... that gives us more to look at.
So that Old Man Save and Quit location really giving us a lot of access once we find that Moon Pearl.
It could also lead us to the Moon Pearl. All right, we're going to check to see what Dark Death Mountain Descent is here from Ramond. We had the initial look at this earlier.
We find Hera just outside the desert. Not that we can do much here yet, but...
Yeah, this only gets us 2 items. And we get more questions than answers here.
So Ramond heading back up the mountain as Freddeh gets that old man information and is going to follow through with it.
So there's a couple of locations here that we have access to. First of all, Ramond is checking out that Paradox Exit Cave on the right side of Death Mountain. And then the 2 drop downs that you have in the middle that you can't get to. Of course, we're going to get into Eastern Palace, so that's going to take a little while. Now, one of the biggest things that could come into play is that you could be required to bunny walk to get to that Moon Pearl. And I'm thinking one nasty location that you could have to bunny walk to is the Left Quarreling Brothers.
For sure. And we do find Graveyard Ledge on Freddie's side, but of course, can't do anything there right now as we don't have the Moon Pearl.
Yep, this is all the information here for Freddeh, and he'll mark off where he needs to return. He knows he doesn't have to return back to that location. Now, he still does not have the mirror. That could come into play, because this also could be a seed that requires you to go into those 2 top of Hyrule Castle entrances to do something.
So we are going to see that pyramid check here.
Yeah, and like I said, unfortunately, this is all that Freddeh can do over here. I love when you find those maps. Here you are thinking you're about to get some good information, and
a glove.
Okay.
So what was that you were saying earlier about a glove opening this up a little bit, Rick?
That does open things up just a little bit. And have either of these runners, I want to say no, but have either of these runners wound up checking the Ice Rod Cave area?
I do not believe so. You'll see a lot of runners kind of hold that off until they find a glove.
And Freddeh, without the mirror, and this is the biggest thing, if the solution to this puzzle requires you to bunny walk and then mirror, this is not where Freddie's going to have any sort of time advantage, because Ramond's going to be going back in this direction at some point in time. He'll be able to get the mirror, and he'll be able to one-shot this. However, I do think Freddeh might be setting things up to do a little bit of a sequence break by way of Skull Woods.
Yeah, not too bad of an idea.
Although it looks like maybe he's opting not to and is just going to be heading over here to the Dark Chapel and then over to the Curiosity Shop. 20 rupees on Floating Island. and the back of Bumper Cave. Not a horrible connector, but now you know you can cross that off your ledge. And there's the other side of Hookshot Cave.
Yeah, so we've seen both sides, the hook shot and Chicken Hut.
Oh, this could be something here. It's not, it's Compass. All right, Freddeh still has a glove advantage, but what are you going to be able to do with it? As we now head over towards those 3 caves we have over here. No, this gets a little interesting because if there is something underneath that rock, that's something that Ramond can't do, but Freddeh can.
And those crabs not giving Freddeh a really good time.
Chest game. And that's a small key to Ganon's tower, and under the rock we found a shop.
And we find
Ooh,
Meyer.
there's nothing we can't do about at this point. You need to have either the hook shot or the boots to get to the other side of that pit. Ramond's about to find the Tower of Hera. And Freddie's going to get the mirror.
Yep, that's all this can really be at this point.
You kind of feel a little sheepish finding that mirror there, just considering the fact that it's a spear 1 location, and you've done a lot of bunny walking without it. Oh, first, yeah, that's right. We've got the Turtle Rock laser bridge here for Freddeh. We'll see how Freddie's able to handle these lasers. Pretty solid first. Just takes it right in the back on that first shot. Pretty solid on the second. Third, takes the hesitation. That's a beautiful hesitation right there. You almost didn't even notice that hesitation.
Yep. And here we do see Ramond starting at the that pod area, so probably going to find that glove really soon.
Yep, and there goes the advantage for Freddeh. And again, if that mirror leads to something at Hyrule Castle, that is definitely something that Ramond's going to be able to use for an advantage, as Freddie's about to pick up that mirror in Agina's cave. Heading into the 37-minute mark, we still are not in a position where we can defeat any of our dungeons, get ourselves closer to the 7 that we need to beat in order to do damage onto Ganon. We still don't have a Moon Pearl.
The only dungeon we can clear, and not even logically, is Thieves Town, but with it being a green pendant, these runners are not going to prioritize that at all, I don't think.
Yeah, especially considering the fact that there's only one more check in that dungeon that is in logic at this point.
And Ramond sees that glove and goes, "Yep, I will take this."
And then he'll walk up to the top of the pyramid, mirror to Hyrule Castle, and we'll be checking the 2 that he has access to right now. If we find another sword or another cape, but a cape, that will give us access to the one in the middle. And Freddeh, under the rock, finds a shop.
Not too exciting. And we do find Ice Rod Cave.
This could be exciting, but it's 20 rupees.
Yep, not very exciting at all. And Freddeh going to do these desert checks.
And we find potion shop, but no mirror to trade in, or no mushroom rather to trade in. So, in honesty, if you're rooting on the sexy Ganons, this is good news here for Freddeh. The fact that both of those entrances did not lead to immediate progression because you know Freddie's going to probably make that one of his last locations.
Oh yeah, having already been over there, it's not going to walk all that way just for those two entrances. Now, if he happens to find another sword or the cape, might be more inclined to head back.
Yeah.
And Ramond shortly here going to get that information that Ganon is at Sanctuary.
Not
Or
yet.
not.
He wants to check what's underneath this rock first. He does not want this to become a loose square. And right now, I know I mentioned that left quarreling brother entrance that we could very well have be the direction towards our moon pearl. That's just only one of a couple of nasty mirror spots that could turn out to be the answer to our problems here.
Yeah, there's quite a few. There's also K45 as an option.
That's right, K45, which you would probably check on the path to doing the Quarreling Brothers. And Graveyard Ledge. However, we are now going to we're going to whirlpool over. And we're going to check the entrance over here at the Death Mountain Ascension. Is this the answer to our problems? No.
It is not.
Freddie, fluting away after finding out that Spiral Cave dumps you out at the waterfall, going back into Desert Palace.
And Ramon going to go check what Zora has for us today.
Makes total amount of sense. Now, the unfortunate thing for Freddie is he's about to find out that the hammer pegs is the left entrance. Of course, he has no reason of knowing that at this stage. And another sword is on the Zora ledge.
I feel like pretty unlikely that we're going to see either runner get that sword unless Freddie already has the flippers when coming up here.
Or the tools to do the ancillary, whatever it's called. But maybe 500 rupees will get us the flippers.
No,
Instead,
but we'll
it's
get us
just
a small key.
To Ganon's
GT.
tower. Wow. That's all 4 small keys already. And the big key.
Yeah, all we're missing are the tools to actually traverse Ganon's tower. And, actually finding it.
And you know what? I at this point in time, Ninjembro, I would be absolutely worried about what's at Moldorm 2.
Absolutely.
I would 100% be worried about what's at Moldorm 2 because the keys that we have put that in logic. Obviously, we don't have the items to put that in logic yet because we're still waiting out a bow. We're still waiting out a hook shot. But Randomizer often likes to say, you know that logic you speak of? Well, to heck with the logic.
Yeah, especially in Kralski's.
We're getting really close to being able to check to see what we have at the left Quarreling Brothers entrance.
Ready checking this hookshot cave connector. And we find Aga Tower, which we can only check one item in at the moment. A small Thieves Town. And we do know where Sarashala is, so Thieves Town is looking pretty good right now. And here at Cave 45...
Ooh.
Oh!
A 5-item cave. This likely is our answer. Well, there's flippers.
There's those flippers indeed.
There's
And the Moon Pearl. A small key to Meyer.
And Freddie's not too far away from getting this information here, but things are about to heat up in this seed as things start to open up, and that Moon Pearl now allows us to do a few other things, including the digging game. And earlier mentioned somebody asking in chat, where is the Thieves Town? Well, Thieves Town is in Kakariko Village. It's in the left house where that lady standing outside calls the guards if you approach her. So that is where Thieves Town is. However, we do know it's a green pendant. Well, that's nice. 2 digs gets you a compass that you don't need.
Yep. And remember what I said about 2 minutes ago, saying that Thieves Town was looking really good? Yeah, not anymore.
It's still looking good. Freddie getting a mirror bonk, unfortunately.
See what old Stumpy has for us here. A big key to Tower of Hera.
Yeah, I think we might need that. Freddie about to get that Moon Pearl in just a moment. As we continue to get more entrance information, we got 4 more entrances to check on this side of the world. Just our rat den stockpile shop.
And Ramond's going to head up here and check Hype Cave.
And we find the dam.
Really good place to find it because you could just hop down and check the flooded item. We do find another Myers small key in the damn chest.
I don't think we're going to see Ramond do that, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Especially considering the fact that it's a quick flute 7.
Exactly. That's a very good point.
Oh, that's a fun location to find. And Ramond the first to get to Hotel Mario.
So we are going to get a hobo check here.
Remember how we mentioned just a few moments ago how that might be a sword that Ramon's not going to get and Freddie might? Well, we got to remember, Freddie has not checked the Zora area yet.
Yep, that's a sword that Freddie will be getting if he ever goes up to the Zora area. But we do see Freddie heading into Hera.
Take that big key, see what we have inside. We get to find out whether or not we have our first crystal beatable, or it could very well turn out to be a pendant. Dark shopping mall next coming for Ramond.
Yeah, 3 entrances. We're still looking for quite a bit.
We're gonna check the waterfall, the wishing entrance here. Capitalism Ferry, otherwise known as. And it's Sea House. Otherwise known as See You Never Again.
So far, Freddie not finding a whole lot here in Tower of Hera. But is about to head up and fight Modorm.
All right, get your guesses in the chat. Tell us if you think that this is going to be a P for pendant or C for crystal. I'm seeing a lot of C's.
Yeah, there's a couple P's thrown in there, but majority C. And we
GT. Sour found.
Ramond checking these other 2 entrances, but we'll probably then go straight back in to GT to check the few things that we can. Although there is actually quite a bit we can do in GT out of logic, using some bomb jumps.
Found. And it is a crystal.
And worth noting, now we have everything to complete Ice Palace. We find a pod small and a Skull Woods big in GT, and a small key on the torch.
Yep, and that's all Ramon's got any interest of doing, because everything else, well, actually, yeah, everything else is out of logic at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I think Ramond will just realize that he wants to check to see where this old lady's house connector goes.
So looking on Freddy's side, this looks like an Ice Palace play.
Oh, this is a good connector to find. With a small key to desert.
Small key to desert.
Nothing on the other side, a Dark Death Mountain descent exit, but finding the desert small does open up 2 more items, and it is logically required should we have to beat desert at some point in time. And, well, there's the back of desert.
Hey, Ramond, going to head down here and check the Curiosity Shop.
Meanwhile, Freddie is heading to Ice Palace. The weight of the 2 smalls and the big key, very big here. And it is a crystal. It is part of our 5-6 that we need in order to get the pyramid bomb.
Ramond about to find out that Ganon is easily accessible once we have all 7 crystals. And we'll be heading over here and checking Graveyard Ledge.
Taking care of the Penegators and needing to load up on those bombs, because since we don't have the Cane of Samaria, Freddy's going to have to do the Ice Palace bomb jump.
Yeah, you don't see that too much these days. And nothing over at Graveyard Ledge. It's looking like Ramond is heading over here to check Catfish, as well as the entrance along the way. And yeah, might mirror to go pick up that second sword. It's a little bit of a time commitment, but when you're still on fighter sword, it's a pretty big jump. Meanwhile, we do see a excellent bomb jump from Freddeh, heading down to the more item-dense section of Ice Palace.
Lays down a couple of bombs. Takes care of all but one of the Pendigators and finally dispatches of it. 2 bombs remain. Got to bear that in mind, considering the fact that we don't have ourselves a hook shot. So you're going to need that one in order to get the big chest as you find a small key to pod. That's number 3 on the books.
Yep, and we are seeing this Master Sword here on Ramond's side.
Solid routing really for Ramond. It's you know that there's a sword there. There could very well be an entrance that you need at the Agate Tower entrance, so you might as well pick this up. You never know when that second sword or the other 2 swords are going to be blocked by other things that you need that second sword for in this mode.
Mm-hmm. Although I doubt we see Ramond go very far out of his way to check that entrance, although it will be on the back of his mind for a while, I'm sure.
Right.
There's just so much more that
Yeah.
we're capable of doing right now.
And plus, if you get the book, it's definitely something nice to get as well. As we're going to check those 2 chests that we have access to over here in Desert Palace.
Yeah, and we finally saw that flooded item was just 3 bombs.
And we get a big key to Turtle Rock.
Not a bad find.
Nothing we can do with that big key right now. Get a pod 4.
Yeah, we're finding a lot of keys for pod, but we haven't found pod.
And collectively, between the 2 of these, we don't have a whole lot of entrances that we've yet to see. That we have access to at this point, that is. There. Oh, that's a nice hook
There's
shot.
the hook shot on Freddie's side.
That opens up 4 items in the Hookshot Cave, which is available just north of Kakariko Village.
And also of note, it gives us access to Meyer.
It also gives us a bunch of items in GT, which Freddeh has not found yet, but we know where it is.
Gives us a couple items in Turtle Rock as well. Yeah, that hookshot just really opens up item locations for us here.
This is what Cross Keys does. It likes to try to bottleneck certain things. Ooh, don't take the... Oh! That's close. Oh, ho, ho, ho. You can unclench now.
Yeah.
Wow,
Fortunately,
that was
a
tight.
fire rod coming through there.
As we get the crystal out of Ice Palace for Freddeh. Made a little nerve-wracking there down to 1 heart, but we got it done. Oh, beautiful setup here for Ramond to take care of Moldworm without any issues whatsoever.
And getting that Ice Palace big key.
Which is what yields the hookshot.
Yeah, and getting that big key, knowing that Ice Palace is a crystal, you have the hammer, you have the glove. I think Ramond's not going to be too far behind in getting that hookshot.
It depends if he flutes to 1 AA real soon. As we do see Freddie's going to be checking the lower entrance to Paradox. I don't have it marked down as anyone checking this yet. Oh, okay.
Seems pretty good.
Seems like a legit cave.
Getting that Turtle Rock entrance medallion requirement is Bombos.
And we find the front of the tavern behind the bomb. And we find Fairy Ascension at the Super Bunny exit.
Yeah, we're going to see a mirror here from Freddeh to check the top paradox here, since he's not checked that yet, and does find that Bummer Cave.
Yeah, which is connected to the front of the tavern in Kakariko Village, and we are going to see what we have at the... or not. Nope, Freddeh has decided, nope, I'm not going to get locked out if I get to a location I don't want to exit here. I'm going to check these two bottom caves. And we find the bottom of
Spectacle Rock here. And Freddeh hesitates a little bit, saying, do I want to go get this item? Do I even know what this item is? Finds that bottle that we saw on Ramond's side earlier, and we do have a Skull Woods dip here.
Which, according to the little bit of a letter that's up there in the top left corner, we know that Skull Woods is a pendant. Alright, Freddeh heading over here, and we did have Graveyard Ledge here at Dark 5, so we're going to be able to check this now.
Just a heart container.
I think for Freddeh, he's going to mirror... I didn't think this was what he was going to do, but this is what he winds up doing, is mirroring. Fluting Canis and Maria in the Skull Big.
That is huge. And that also means when Ramond gets up to Ice Palace, he's going to have quite a bit of a quicker clear than we saw on Freddie's side.
Yeah, because he's going to be able to do the icebreaker to get him over to the other side. There is a small key to the castle tower, which gives us that second item, as Freddeh is over near the dam, going to be able to drain the water real soon. We haven't found where Swamp Palace is, and we have another entrance over here that we can check because we have the fire rod. And it turns out to be a fairy fountain.
Not too exciting.
So to answer a question in chat, is Skullwoods always vanilla in Cross Keys? The drop downs to Skullwoods are always always going to be vanilla, but where the drop downs go will be shuffled up. The part that you need to do in order to beat the dungeon where Mothula exists will be shuffled amongst all the other entrances. And because it is a pendant dungeon, Skullwood's back could very well be anywhere, including Ganon's tower.
And we do see Ramond heading here into the front of Turtle Rock for these 3-item checks. And finding our first bow.
Yep, now that means we can't do anything with that bow just yet. However, all the pieces are coming together now for us to be able to finish up with Ganon's tower. All 27 items are now available to us. Just saying. Our tracker reminding us that without the boots, 26 out of 27 items are available to us.
Yeah, we did see that 27th item was a small key.
Yes, it is. All right, so Freddy's getting over here to the dark shopping mall area. He's about to find Ganon's tower. Without that bow, unable to finish off with the GT, depending on his skills in regards to a certain mimic thing. Find a shovel.
Yeah, even without that bow, Freddy can do left side, so we probably will see that. I would imagine.
About to get the desert small key here.
We find the mitts.
That opens up the mire area, which we have not seen any connectors over to yet.
Yeah. Yeah, mitts and cross keys being one of those interesting items where sometimes it's a massive find and other times you just never even find them.
They exist because it is 100% inventory, but you're not always guaranteed to get them. Oh, well, that's gonna pretty much end that attempt right there. Freddy finds GT and has thought, I really don't want to check this just yet. I have some other place that I want to go. I thought it was going to be Misermire. It turns out to be that answer is no as well. So, do you remember, where did we get the Skullwoods Big?
Oh, wow. I do not remember off the top of my head.
Hi there, Misermire. Speaking of that.
Yeah, and we going to see the desert entrance here.
And Hookshot Cave now for Freddy, where we get ourselves 5 rupees. More nothing. More nothing. And dissatisfaction.
So getting back to Dark Shopping Mall is not the most convenient thing, but it does seem that Freddy might just be kind of cleaning up some of these checks that he knows he has access to before going back through his portal to do what he can in GT. Which, if that's what he's doing, I think is a really smart play to see if he can find some of those last-minute items that make GT fully clearable.
As we find Skullwoods back at the desert back entrance. And Ramond, seeing that it is a pendant, has said, nope, I don't really want to deal with Mafia at this point. And we haven't seen any Skullwood small keys, so that adds more reason not to do it at this point.
And Freddy about to get his mitts.
Yeah, it looks like he's shaping himself up to do the same, almost the same route that we saw from Ramond. And over here to Dark Agena, we find a shop.
And chat pointing out, we didn't have a Skullwood small key to get to Moth.
Yeah, which I realized after the fact is that we haven't seen a small key yet. Now, the way that Skullwoods works in cross keys is that there will always be a small key in the pinball room. However, the other two, we don't know where they are. And without finding where those are, and Mothula locked behind all 3 of the small keys, it's not necessarily the most appetizing play to make at this stage.
Right. We did see Brewery on Ramond's side, just a piece of heart under the checkerboard cave rock.
I was gonna say Freddy needs to be extremely careful. Took a lot of damage there in that key room with the pokey, but does get a heart back. Is gonna go ahead and check the chain chomps next. and finds the lower part of Paradox, which was something that did not have earlier on. Freddeh just needs to be a little careful, gets the chain chomps to bite, gets the big key to Eastern Palace. That's something that Ramond did not get when he was in Thieves Town, or rather in Turtle Rock.
Yeah, we saw Ramond take that connector and just left with it. Had the ability to go back into the Mire entrance, but chose to start following connectors. Not a bad play, because getting back to Turtle Rock is very easy. It's a quick flute to cack.
Can I just say that this was brilliant here from Freddeh?
Oh yeah, for sure. And we find Swamp Palace.
Wow.
But
Swamp,
no
nice
shot.
place for that. Now, we can't beat this yet. We don't have the small key to get inside. There's a small to dark palace, and there's our Skullwoods Big. That's what
where
leads to
it
the Cane of
was.
Samaria. How nice. So they put the Cane of Samaria under the doormat. You just had to go find where the doormat was located. So just a reminder of the stakes here at 70 minutes into this run. Cross Keys is what we're playing. This is the third game in this best of 5 series between these two teams. If Skull Kids wins this, they're going to be playing in the conference semifinals starting next week. Freddeh needs this to force a game 4, which would be yet to be determined. And that will feature one runner from the Sexy Ganons, one runner from the Skull Kids playing in the mode that is chosen by the lower seed of the two teams. And the other two players that are not in Game 4 will be playing in Game 5 in the co-op to wrap up the series of 5 here. First round of the playoffs.
And we do see Ramond now heading over to Ice Palace.
Yep, that's his next destination down here in the bottom left.
Will be getting his hook shot.
Yep, which was in the big chest of Ice Palace. And when given him where that Ice Palace big key was, this seed did not want us to do any tricks whatsoever. We find our magic powder, which we don't have access to the magic badges yet. We're still lacking a pair of boots as well as the... Oh, what is it that we're also lacking? A Castle Tower 2.
We find the cape.
Yay. Turtle Rock small key.
Interesting to note, that's our first Turtle Rock small key.
You're right.
You know, we've gotten a lot of checks out of Turtle Rock on 0 keys.
Yeah, that's funny how Turtle Rock works out in cross keys.
Yeah, all 4 keys required logically, but pretty much the entire dungeon clearable with just 1 small key, depending on what entrances you found.
And Freddeh getting ready to bomb jump his way over to the Ice Armos. Oh, a little too much. And people that are watching this live are having a little bit of a debate on who is ahead at this point. It's hard to tell. Each runner is missing something that the other wants to have. And it's a difficult answer on when the other's going to get to those locations to pick those things up. We don't know at this point. We're probably still like maybe another 40 minutes away from where there could even be a merge of the paths of these runners.
Yeah, and on Freddie's side, we are seeing the dreaded Spider Sword Ice Armos. Although making a little bit of use of a couple fire rod shots.
Yeah, needs him to actually connect down to 1. There we go. Just gotta be patient. Make sure that you hold your sword out, or just don't let them hit you. As Ramond about ready to go up against the Cold Stare fight. As Freddeh is done with the Ice Armos, gets 10 arrows, a red rupee, and, well, that was unfortunate.
So, GT left side really only hitting us with the powder. And that TR small.
And now Freddeh mirroring over here and checking Misery Mire, which, unfortunately, because of the way things are setting up, we do not have the ability to beat this dungeon at this point.
Yeah, 6 items, though, is nothing to scoff at, for sure.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And for those of you that are wondering where the Samaria is, it is in the Skull Woods big chest. Freddeh has not done any exploration in Skull Woods whatsoever. And this was why Freddeh was being conservative with his magic. He wanted to save it for these torches.
All right, and both runners here in Misery Mire now.
Yeah, but a major difference. Ramond's going to be able to finish this dungeon. Freddie's not going to be able to.
Ah, we do have the Mire Big Key. For some reason, I had missed that. Even though it's right there in front of me.
A lot of icons on there in the very, very bottom. And once again, shoutouts to Ikir and Solana Summer for clicking those buttons and making things appear when these runners find them. So if you're rooting for the sexy Ganons, you're either hoping that Vitreous doesn't have anything, or that this is a pendant dungeon. We only know that there's one more pendant dungeon to be known of the entire set that we have in this seed. Now for Freddeh, he doesn't know because he hasn't been into Skull Woods at all, so therefore no clue that Skull Woods is a crystal, or rather is a pendant dungeon at this point.
And so far, Mire coming up pretty empty.
Yeah, but we still got 4 more checks to get in this dungeon.
$50.
Make it 3. Small key to Skull Woods. Maybe that'll get Freddeh to start thinking about heading over there. Small key to Turtle Rock. That's 2 on our board. If you're rooting for the Skull Kids to sweep this series, you're looking Vitreous dropping something very important like the boots. And I know Freddeh at that point probably was thinking, why couldn't I have had that blue cane for the Armos fight? Also thinking,
Yep.
Wrong cane too while we're at that.
So Ramond very shortly going to be heading back to the Vitreous fight here.
Freddeh will eventually be getting himself over to the Zora area where he will be able to pick up that Master Sword. I'm gonna make a prediction right now, Ninja Bro. I'm gonna make a prediction right now that says that the Palace of Darkness is going to be at Aga Tower.
Yeah, I could see it. The prediction I was going to make is that Eastern Palace being our last pendant.
That's also a solid prediction. All right, so Freddeh is going to be going to the Zora area soon, and then picking up that master, or rather getting the Zora item first, and then getting this master sword. All right, get in the chat right now. Misery Meyer, is that our final pendant, or is that a crystal? Get a P in the chat if you think it's a pendant. Get a C in the chat if you think it's going to be a crystal. You know, for a situation here that we know of 2 of our 3 pendants, I'm seeing a lot of P's in chat.
Yeah, there were quite a number of P's compared to the Hera variant of the question.
Absolutely. So that means it's going to be a crystal.
Ramond playing the Vitreous fight a little conservatively, fairly low health, not really having a lot of safeties.
Yeah, the only safety he has is the Cane of Burn, and the Cane of Burn really is not a great one to have. He would love to have that magic cape. Whoa, how did that not hit him? I was expecting that Zappy Zap to hit him. That was not going to kill him, but I was expecting that to hit.
And 20 bucks.
And it's a crystal, so Freddeh does need to get back here at some point.
And on Freddie's side, we are going to see Ice Palace here, and we do see that pod is a crystal.
Yes, it is, and there it is. At Ice Palace.
Perfect timing to check your map there, Freddeh.
Yes, now if only you had a bow, so that way you could at least do a little more. But we do have a potion in a bottle, so we will be able to do a mimic clip here with the bottle. Find some money real fast. Ramond's about to get a whole lot of nothing inside of this hookshot cave. And there's our small key to Swamp Palace.
Small right there in pod. And Freddeh does not know where Swamp Palace is.
And Ramond's about to find Palace of Darkness real soon.
We do find our second bottle, and Freddeh decides to just leave.
Freddeh is going to be fluting, thinking about his options, fluting to 6. Gonna check the Dark World stuff over here, Dark Mire area. He's gonna find the Turtle Rock left when he does head into the Mire entrance. Maybe that gets him over to the front. I don't know. He knows where the front is.
Yeah, but still lacking that red cane.
True, so that way he can't get to the bow.
You know, Freddeh really needs to get over to Skull Woods sooner rather than later.
Yeah, this is a massive piece of information for Ramond, who, by the way, that Swamp Palace is 100% beatable at this point. Now, we don't know if we need to, but you're not going to say no to beating that dungeon with how many items are inside and us still lacking some of the things we need for go mode. Which, you know, that list is really starting to narrow what we need for go mode.
Yep, and we are going to see Mothula here on Freddy's side. So, for any fans of the sexy Ganons here, we're really hoping for, you know, an ice rod to be here on Mothula.
But we don't know if we need to do Tranix at this point.
I
Yes, we do. It's one of our
Trinix is a
5-6. Never mind. It's one of our 5-6. In that case, we do need to get an ice rod to get into go mode. We got ourselves a sword behind the mimics, which would be something that Freddie would have loved to have had for this Mothula fight. Sticks to the hammer. I think that's 3 hits on it now. Oh, had a perfect position, just couldn't get the hit in. Yeah, that's 3, that's 4. Nice fight still. Ice Rod is found!
Ice Rod in the back of pod. Freddie just finding the map of Turtle Rock on Moth.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate for Freddie, and that's no fault of what Freddie was doing. It's just bad luck at that point. Oh, 2 swords in the Palace of Darkness. Yeah, the lack of the Cane of Samaria, the fact that Freddie has not checked Skull Woods at all is starting to really hurt.
And that is really bottlenecking a lot of this seed at this point for Freddie.
Yeah, he needs to get into Skull Woods. He needs to get to those items that are freely available, and there's the other... Oh, that's gonna sting even more.
Yep, Pod coming out swinging pretty hard in the item department here.
Yeah, it is. First bow turned out to be over in the Turtle Rock Compass chest. Second bow just found right there.
Yep, and Ramond heading in to fight Trinix here.
Yeah, this is about to give him a 4-2 crystal lead. And he's got an offensive weapon advantage too at this point, and that Cane of Samaria is becoming a major issue here for Freddie. Now,
yeah, early on when go ahead, Rick.
You go ahead and say what you're gonna say.
I was just gonna say at first when we found that cane, you know, we know it's a required item. It was a big find, but it didn't feel like it was really catapulting Ramond into the lead. But the amount of things that were just sequenced behind that cane that we now know of has become really unfortunate for Freddie.
Yeah, absolutely. The fact that Ramond got the first bow out of that, and that right there is a major point of this as well. And we get ourselves a mushroom off the Trinix, but more importantly, we now have a 4-2 crystal lead. We are getting some chatter about the go mode here for Ramond, and we are still big keys away. We need to get the pod big key. We know that's 100% required. But is Eastern going to be required for Ramond? We don't know at this point. Is Desert Big going to be required? We don't know. One of them is going to be required, one of them is not going to be required. But pod is guaranteed to be required because we know that's a crystal by way of Freddie.
I think on Freddie's side, we are going to see the top of the castle, including the one entrance we have not yet seen. And Ramond taking everything he's gotten so far and saying, yeah, it is time to do Swamp Palace. There are just way too many items here.
Yeah. You got to. I mean, there's 9 remaining items in here. And there's one of our big keys right there to Palace of Darkness.
Right there in Swamp Palace.
So now the question is Eastern a pendant? Is Desert a pendant? That Eastern big may not be a big deal if it turns out to be. That Eastern is our final pendant, but it could still become a situation if Eastern is our final crystal.
Yeah, you know, I don't know at what point Ramond heads back for those last 2 checks in Turtle Rock. Although here on Freddie's side, we are about to see Swamp Palace. Which at this point, he is capable of clearing.
Yeah, this race is not over with yet, but it really comes down to Canis and Mario for Freddie versus Eastern Big, which, again, we don't know if we need. There's the boots.
There's the boots. So Freddie will be getting those soon, so fortunately for him. And we do see a diver down here on Ramond's side to get over to the left side swamp.
And there is the Palace of Darkness big key for Freddie. So, as we make our way through this swamp, we don't know if we need to beat this in order to defeat Ganon. What do you think, Ninjambro? Is this a pendant, or is this a crystal?
I mean, I'm going to go with crystal, only based on the fact that earlier I called Eastern being our last pendant.
So you're doubling down on that one.
Yeah, I just feel with how well things to be going for Skull Kid's side, like, it just, Eastern has to be the pendant at this point, right? But we'll know very shortly.
The one thing I'm concerned about with regards to the Eastern Palace, that's the only thing that Ramond never checked was that location. Did he not check Lava Chest either?
Yeah, he did not check Lava Chest or Chain Chomps.
Okay, so he's got 2 reasons to be back there, which would improve the likelihood of him coming back in. Never down for Freddie. He had to do it by way of the bombs because he doesn't have that bow. Small key to Castle Tower, that's the second.
And we do know that those 2 Agate Tower keys do lock an item. Because we do have the magic bat at the Lumberjack dropdown.
Alright, let's see how we face off against this Argus. Solid start. It's not going to be a 0 cycle. But still a solid fight there for Ramond. Has the silvers out. And boom, we're dead. Get ourselves some bombs. And the pennant.
Oh,
we
and
need
the
Desert
pendant.
Big. We need Desert Big for our no mode. Eastern is a crystal. Desert is a crystal. And Ramond doesn't even need to look at that map. He knows all the information in this seed now.
So Ramond heading straight back to pod. Going to get his 5th crystal. Make that crystal lead even bigger.
There are the boots for Freddeh. Now, my next question is, how many multiple item caves do we have remaining in this game? Because I think we found almost all of them, if we haven't found them all yet.
Yeah, we found the Thieves Hideout, we found Hype Cave, we found Paradox, we found Mini Modorm.
I just thought of one. Mire Shed we haven't found.
Yeah.
Chad also pointing out Waterfall Ferry we haven't found either. That's another 2. Just to point out where we are at this run right now, Ramond does not have the Eastern Big. It is in the Chain Chomp room of Turtle Rock, and Ramond has cleared out all but 2 chests of that Turtle Rock, so there's a question when he will return. Freddeh does not have the Cane of Samaria out of the Skull Woods Big chest. Freddeh has not been to Skull Woods at all.
Other than killing Moth, which he did find.
Right, obviously I'm talking about the main area.
Yeah, the main
Skull Woods in that regards, but this will give Freddeh the information he needs about the pendants too. And by the way, those pendants might still be required.
Yep, and we do see Ramond heading into the Homicide fight.
Interesting to use a little bit of a bomb strat there to start taking down that mask. As Freddie's going to be going into this Palace of Darkness as well, so he will get one of the bows.
Yep.
That actually might work out here for Freddeh.
I was just thinking that, if anything, it might set him back even more, because now he'll just head to Eastern Palace, and who knows what he could find there. I mean, I guess not much.
We do know he needs to find that Cane of Samaria, but he will get that bow back here, and that will at least open up the pathway to taking care of some of the seed. So yeah, this race is not done and over with yet.
You know, one place that I'm sure is still on Ramon's mind that he has full access to is GT. He's only seen 3 items out of GT.
Yep, that's true, and that could very well become a time sink if there's nothing else in that GT, but when have you ever played a Cross Key Seed Ninjembro and not gotten anything major out of GT?
I don't think it's ever happened.
It's so rare for it to happen.
And as we're talking about it, look where he's headed.
I'm not convinced. He's just going for a lovely swim on this November day. It's just nothing but a swim. Okay, fine, he's going to GT.
And Freddeh about to get that bow.
And probably go, whoa.
Meanwhile, we are seeing right side of GT. new checks for us as viewers.
Freddie about to get butter. As Ramond gets 300 rupees, there's a big key to Desert Palace. We are now in no mode.
So given the location of the eastern big key, it could still be a little bit of time before we see full-on go mode on Ramon's side. Because I think it's very likely that we may see all of GT here.
Yeah, I think we're getting all 27 out of this. Answering question from chat, what else does Ramond need for go mode? He needs the Eastern Big. We know where it is. Ramond does not. It is in the Chain Chomp room of Turtle Rock. Now, the problem for Ramond could come into play if he decides to start searching out locations like the Green Pendant Thieves Town.
Yeah, which very early on I said, you know, we're probably going to see Thieves Town very soon. And, you know, we haven't.
100 minutes later, we're still waiting to see Thieves Town. Freddeh facing off against this Commissar King. The big question is, when does Ramond get the idea that he's got to go back into Turtle Rock? That is just, I hate thinking about it as an isolated check, but I'm just trying to think of what Ramond would be thinking at this point, and it almost seems like it is an isolated check at this stage.
Yeah, I mean, there's a Turtle Rock key. I feel like the more Turtle Rock keys you find, you might be a little more inclined to go back. Because
Right.
at that point, you know, you're thinking, okay, now logically, I have access.
Absolutely. And right now we have 3 of our 4 Turtle Rock keys for Ramond. And Freddeh is finishing off Eastern. Makes total sense at this point in time. We know it's not going to be there, but these are 2 quick checks, unless they yield something like the book. And to be fair, if it's the book that's in one of these 2 checks, one of the locations that you would be checking is just around the corner.
Yeah.
Although that Desert Big kind of pains me for Freddeh, but it's in a more dense location.
Oh, for sure. Yep, and here we are going to see
Tile
room.
And this is not what you want if you're cheering on the Skull Kids. You're sitting there, you're nervous, you're trying to get Ramond the energy needed to go back into Turtle Rock. As Ramond will just wait out that bunny beam at the door, and here comes the tiles.
And just another useless compass, and we are not seeing the climb at this point in time.
This helps just a little bit. But we've got a desert palace to finish off first.
Yeah, and makes total sense. It's another item. And another crystal. And we find another small key to pod. On the Armos Knights.
And Freddeh is about to go into Skull Woods.
Finally going to get that red cane and say, oh no.
Yeah, your heart falls a lot when you find it this easy accessible. All right. Now the ball's in your court, Ramond. What are you doing?
Yeah,
Again.
Chet pointing out that Freddeh does have a pretty good path to victory at this point.
Yeah, this race is not done and over with yet, and it all depends on how long it takes for Ramond to get back into Turtle Rock. The bad thing about those boots is it opens up 4 new locations to us. And as we pointed out, there are a couple of multiple chest locations still in play.
Yeah, and looks like Ramon is heading straight to these new boots locations.
Makes sense. It's one of the last things you just picked up here. And Freddeh is going to go, oh no, in 3, 2, 1. You can't do anything about that. You have to keep moving. As we take Spike Cave.
Yeah, completely reasonable check here. You knew where it was. And not even needing to use any magic.
Yeah, he's going to save it for the trip back through.
Having a little bit of trouble there.
Yeah, we know exactly what Ramond's trying to do at that point, and it's totally understandable. As we go out, now we're going to be able to check these 2 locations. Mirror is out. There is our library.
A small key to boot.
Smoke. Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Just more things to lead you away from where you need to go. Meanwhile, Freddeh heading into the back of Turtle Rock.
There's our waterfall cave with a heart container and a map. Thank you very much, game. And now we're going to check that shovel.
Yeah, I will say, given the options available, and obviously we have the added bonus of knowing everything as the comms team. What Ramon is doing is very efficient and very reasonable sequence of checks.
When you play as many... Uh-oh. Oh, dear.
Yeah, this is the other 4 items plus green pendant.
Oh, boy. Okay, so let me first of all sing some praise here for Ramond. And, you know, Ramond does a lot of cross-key stuff. Very, very good at this mode. The efficiency of going through, clearing as much as you can on the overworld. You learn these things the more you play this mode, and that is showing up right there on how Ramond ended up routing those 4 checks, the Spike Cave, into those 2 Bonk Rock locations, into the Shovel check, and now we're heading back in here into Thieves Town to finish this dungeon off. Freddie's about to get the silvers. Freddie still needs to do Misery Mire, but we're approaching that juncture now for Freddie. If he goes back into Ganon's tower and clears out that right side, watch out.
Yeah, the only saving grace for Ramond in that instance is GT is just really out of the way. Now, granted,
It's out of the way.
we are
but
looking for one item, and there are so many items there.
Yeah, that's what I was about to
Probably-
say.
Yeah, he probably heads back there very soon.
Just not this way. He's going to do Misery Mire first.
And that makes complete sense. You have to do it anyway. If Vitreous has your Desert Big, you're done.
And because he's got the silvers, he's going to be able to save a bunch of time on this Vitreous fight too.
For sure.
At the 80-minute mark, or rather the 110-minute mark, people asking, where are these things that these runners need for go mode? If you're the school kids, Ramond needs to get to the Turtle Rock Chain Chomp Room where the Eastern Palace Big Key is. For Freddie and the Sexy Ganons, you need to get to the eastern side, the compass room of Ganon's Tower. That is where the Desert Big is. At this point in time, both runners know their layout. They know what is pendants, they know what are crystals, they know what they need to do to beat this game.
Now, back at Thieves Town, just really giving us a lot of hearts.
Yeah, Ramond now sitting at 16 hearts. And Sahasrahla is up on the mountain. Did we check that immediately? Trying to see exactly where we're going. Oh, we're going
back
to
to
Turtle
TR.
Rock, right? Oh! It's on, friends.
Yeah, this is... Unfortunately for the Sexy Ganons, this is pretty much looking like GG, barring any kind of catastrophe on Skull Kid's side. You know, the race isn't over until you cross the bridge.
Mm-hmm. But this is looking really, really good for Ramond. And it's all up to what Freddie does in this next check here. There's the heart container for Ramond. Freddie needs to get to Ganon's Tower and needs to get to Ganon's Tower right now. Because Ramond is around the corner from go mode. These Chain Chomps, they have the Eastern Palace Big Key. And at 1 hour, 52 minutes, and 35 seconds, Ramond, first of these two runners, into go mode.
Yeah, Ramond is going to head up to the mountain, is not going to pass go, is not going to collect $200. It's going to head straight into Eastern Palace.
And it makes a lot of sense at this point. And it looks like we are seeing Freddie checking a few more entrances at this point. This is the Skullwoods race to win. A sweep here. They'll be playing in the conference semifinals next week against an opponent to be determined, as they will redo the seedings for the conference semifinals. So we don't even know who the Skull Kids would face should they hold on and win. Red Smith Chain here for the Sexy Ganons. Understandable check, but it's not going to be what we need.
Just a piece of heart.
And you really... It's the way that Ramond did these checks that is just absolutely amazing. Like, these were absolutely brilliant checks here by Ramond, and the way that he was able to lump them all together.
Yeah. And Freddeh hopping here into Aga Tower. Gonna get the second item out of here.
My concern is that at this point in time, he's going to go ahead and do Agate 1. Oh, though he's got the mirror out, so yep, he's not doing Agate 1. But
yeah, it's a lot of time commitment for one item.
Yeah, for sure. All right, 6 silver arrows there. Claims the small key to Dark Palace. And with that,
7th crystal.
7 crystals down. Next stop is Ganon Town. How'd you like some bacon at this time of the day?
I would love it.
Well, I hope you have your plates ready because we're about to serve up some bacon here.
And dropping down into the Ganon fight now, as Freddeh picks up the small key from the library.
Yeah, the good thing here is that Ramond did not get tricked aside by some of those additional checks that he had would have been able to check thanks to the Tower of Hera small key and such. Didn't climb the tower. That also too was a big help too.
Yeah. And already into phase 3 of Ganon, making very quick work of the first 2 phases.
Yeah, Buttersword makes this easy. Drops down a bomb. Probably just more to get rid of inventory right now to make it easier to go between silver arrows and the fire rod. That's actually brilliant thinking right there. See how quick that was? Couldn't get the 4th hit there, but there it is. And Ramond does it. It's a sweep for the Skull Kids, and they'll be playing in the conference semifinals next week after their 3-0 series win over the Sexy Ganons. Get your GGs in the chat for Ramond and the Skull Kids.
Yeah, and with an official racetime.gg time of 1 hour and 57 minutes flat. As you said, Skull Kids sweep the series.
And we get a DNF from Freddeh. Get your GGs in the chat for the Sexy Ganons. What a brilliant effort it was for the Sexy Ganons. Last season did not make the playoffs. They were, I believe, the 7th of 8 teams in the division. So therefore they skirted away from having relegation concerns to go from that in order to make the playoffs. A great rebound for Yagama, Fant, and Freddeh. Get your GGs in the chat for the Sexy Ganons. Gonna see if we can't get both of them in here, but we'll go ahead and talk with Freddeh first. And welcome in, Freddeh.
Oh, GG's. Well, I guess Ramond's not here yet. But GG's anyway.
There was a little bit of a time here where things could have gotten interesting here with regards to your chances against Ramond, but the way that Ramond did the last section of that run, it was just absolutely amazing. The routing things together, even though you did Thieves Town, which turned out not to be required, as we welcome Ramond into the conversation as well.
Hello, GG's.
Hello. GG's.
So it was a battle of two different items at one point in time. For Ramond, it was the Eastern Palace Big Key in the Chain Chomp room. For Freddeh, it was the Skullwoods Big Key. I'm going to start with Ramond. What was your thoughts when you got that Eastern Big out of the Chain Chomp room?
Oh, that felt kind of bad. I mean, it was I had mixed feelings because I was glad that it wasn't like really deep in a seed, and that I happened to find it before like doing really lots of time-consuming stuff, other things. But on the other hand, I mean, it's a Sphere 0? No, it's not quite Sphere 1, but you could get there pretty early actually. So I thought, okay, this is a check that my opponent probably has already done. And the one reason I had not done that yet, I usually always do this, obviously, because it's in logic once you have access to the central part. You probably realized that I kind of goofed or blacked out when I did my bump jump over the rail at the big chest. And I wasted like most my bombs, and then I just had one bomb left, and then I thought, I'm not gonna go to chain jumps now. I'm first gonna check the left connector, because then I can restock at least one bomb from the pot, and then I'm gonna go back in and get those checks and mirror out and continue out the connector.
And then it was Misery Mario entrance.
Yeah, that was kind of ugly, but yeah, happens. I'm not going to complain.
Yeah. Now, obviously, you showed us a little bit of a clinic on how to route things successfully in cross case, so I'll definitely give you a congrats on that. Let's turn over here to Freddeh. Skullwoods, Canis and Mario, what were your thoughts when you got that?
Honestly, I wasn't that sad about it. I mean, obviously, finding out that the Desert Big is in Compass Room, I'm more sad about it, but I was very happy with my routing overall, honestly. Like, stuff didn't work out, but my routing was fine overall. I feel like I got to Swamp at a decent time. The cane was late, but didn't feel too late. Like, if Desert was on my way through Turtle Rock or Mire or any of the Smith Chain type stuff, Mitz type stuff, then that was fine, but it's just that one spot was the spot I needed it not to be, or Thieves Town, because I was kind of gambling on that one.
Yeah, but and the thing is that you had a couple of unfortunate breaks earlier on in the seed, and the fact that you didn't have the mirror to help you route out a little more efficiently, whereas Ramond ended up getting that relatively early out of that Spear 1 location, and you both were in Swamp at the same time, so Ramond had the boots probably maybe like a minute tops over you. Not a lot of time there difference to really matter.
Okay, so they get the Mitz at a decent time. Then I was curious if Mitz came late or something, or Bombos for that matter. But I guess where they weren't too bad. Yeah, the mirror, like I don't know how you make it over to Eastern that early, honestly, in the seed. Like, shrug. I'm not too mad about that either. I think I did my first trip through Dark World without Mirror, right? I think it was before. Or was that after I got Mirror? No, it was before I got Mirror. Yeah.
It was before you got Mirror, because you wound up getting the glove up on the pyramid ledge, which turned out to be kind of a red herring of sorts, because you needed the mirror in order to get to the Moon Pearl at the Cave 45 entrance, which turned out to be the mini Moldorm cave.
Yeah. Sounds like I might have beaten Ramond to the Moon Pearl, but maybe just the earlier efficient routing means that even though mine wasn't really last location. But
I think if I remember correctly, Ramond had the Moon Pearl by about 30 seconds to a minute. You both were in the general area of it, so it wasn't that big of a deal. I think one of the bigger things was the fact that by the time that Ramond stepped into Misery Mire, he had the Cane of Samaria.
That makes sense. Yeah, I had to double dip Misery Mire. I was trying my best to find that cane. As you noticed by how much I kept that portal at Ganon's Tower.
Yeah,
Like, I really wanted to
that
find
was
the
really,
cane, but
that was really efficient too.
yeah, I tried.
You both
Except
definitely
for
showed
having to go back and forth because I forgot about the desert small key.
you both pretty much showed us decent ways of going about this throughout this entire run. There was one thing I just thought of here. Oh yeah, Freddie, your scary fight against Cold Stare down to 1 heart.
Yeah, I was just kind of like AFK thinking about my next thing. I'm like, oh, I should probably pay attention to this fight. I don't actually have a fairy. I just have a potion. Like, it'll be fine. I won't die.
Yeah, you didn't die, but you definitely made us a little nervous, especially when that last piece of ice was starting to fall. Still, despite the fact that all the heads were all pieces of Cold Stare were dead.
Yeah, no, I was. Fortunately, my muscle memory for that part just tells me to go down and dodge ice, even if I'm not sure if it's coming down. I think I've died to that before, and yeah, it worked out. It was fine. Nothing like fighter sword, ice armos though. Yeah.
Yeah, such a
Good time.
great fight that was. People are clamoring for you to use the fire rod, but then you showed us why you didn't want to use the fire rod, because you wanted to have enough magic to light the torches when you went into Misery Mire afterwards.
Yeah, that was my main. I could have used more fire rod shots. I just got everyone in kind of a corner with the sword by the time I got to that point, and decided to save some more mana and use it for like Mire 2 or something instead.
So with the loss, this now means a 3-0 series lead, or 3-0 series sweep
Defeat.
here for the Skull Kids, knocking the Sexy Ganons out. As I was just saying just a few moments ago, to go from having a losing record last season and being on the verge of relegation to making the playoffs, what does this say about your team as a whole for the Sexy Ganons, Freddie?
I mean, I'm happy with how we performed this year. Like you said, it was a tough division. There's a lot of good people in the division. Really, a lot of good players in all Invitational. If this playoff is any indication, so being able to make it to where we were, having a bit of a downturn, I think that kind of followed us into the playoffs. It happened though, and I'm happy with where we got. Like, I have no real sad things other than one certain Ganon fall in a race, but outside of that, I'm pretty happy with our performance this tournament.
Yeah,
Once
those-
again,
I was going to say those legendary Ganon falls.
yeah, that was anyway. So, but yeah, no, I would like to just thank everyone with the league for putting this on again. This is probably the tournament I look forward to most, and for the Zelda Randomizer. Just a lot of fun modes. It's fun doing it with teammates and having a team and going through, and the co-op modes are fantastic.
Can't wait to see the Sexy Ganons back in season number 5.
You should bet on it.
All right, so get your GGs in the chat once again for the Sexy Ganons and Freddies, and now turn over to Ramond and the Skull Kids. Take it away, Ninja Bro.
I mean, yeah, again, GG's, Ramon and the Skull Kids. You guys are advancing to the conference semifinals with the 3-0 sweep. How are you guys feeling heading into the next round?
Yeah, thanks. Actually, I'm not actually following all this stuff really much because I'm like basically substituting. So I just take whatever comes, and I'm glad if I can help the team. And yeah, but I'm sure that Gamacho and Shireen are like also feeling pretty good. I have not checked who our next opponent is yet.
It's yet to be determined because they do the reseedings.
Ah, I see. Okay. Yeah. I'm at a loss for words actually right now. I did not prepare anything. I did not expect to like be asked such team stuff. So yeah, I'm kind of blushing right now.
Hey, I mean, it was a well-deserved win. Any general thoughts about the seed as a whole? I know you kind of, I know you and Freddie talked a little bit in the post-race chat. Kind of, how did you feel about the way the seed as a whole kind of unfolded and played out, especially in that kind of early to mid game?
Yeah, so the Moon Pearl, actually, I was not very happy about that, because usually when you have the mirror and you kind of find a connector to the Dark World, which basically gives you access to these two South Dark World mirror entrances, usually you should go for it and check it, especially if you're close, like the Village of Outcasts area. But this time I was like, I was surprised to like get out there, and then I just mirrored out of muscle memory. I usually muscle memory the mirror when I get out of a connector. And then I kind of didn't think about it. I only realized later that I could have done that. So in the end, when there were like actually no light world checks left, I wasn't sure. So, but I think I decided to go for the pyramid because there was like a safe item there, which was in logic, and then 2 extra entrances apart from the 2 entrances in the South Dark World. Yeah, the Pearl. After that, I mean, yeah, once you had the Pearl, basically you just get everything there while you're there. And when finding GT, it was like, okay, it was very suspicious. We got all those GT keys very early. I think I already had 4 GT keys when I found GT. We had the big key. We just did not have the tools to like go deeper into GT, left side or right side, or have the climb and logic.
Yeah,
So I think
we definitely noticed that the game did give you all that GT stuff very early, very suspiciously.
I was really worried about a required climb for Moon Pearl actually early on, but I'm glad that did not happen.
Yeah, in the commentary booth, we were joking about the Pearl maybe being on the green pendant turn-in since the game decided to give you everything for Thieves Town fairly early.
Yeah, indeed. I was actually, after seeing that that Thieves Town key at Aga's, I was actually relatively sure the Pearl would be in back of Thieves Town somehow. So
Me too. And then I got the Moon Pearl next day.
yeah, same. I mean, obviously it makes sense to finish the route down there, and then, I mean, I don't think anybody would bail and go to Thieves Town immediately. Apart from that, I knew I found GT. It would be in logic if I had hookshot or the cane, basically. But I knew if I came back, I really wanted to go back as late as possible because I really did not want to isolate any more checks there or basically leave behind checks. So I tried to dodge GT as long as possible, and I think it worked out pretty well. I think even if I hadn't goofed with the Turtle Rock, with the connector thing with the Eastern Big Key, then I would have actually been in go mode after just Compass Room. I could have like skipped a lot of stuff. So yeah, this was actually a pretty jet seed if you did the right things and did not do many mistakes. I mean, I'm really not complaining because yes, I did make 1, 2, 3 mistakes, which maybe cost me some time. But on the other hand, there could have been way more mistakes that could have been made, basically. And I'm glad that I kind of got around to tie the most dungeons up like in a kind of efficient manner, hopefully. I did not feel like I had too many like single isolated checks left somewhere. So yeah, it's kind of hard like to talk about the seed in retrospect because it was sort of straightforward after the Moon Pearl until the end.
Yeah, it definitely went by in pretty much a blur after that point. You know, a lot of the seed opened up, and it really led itself to a lot of really efficient routing.
Yeah, I'm still trying to think of something, the seed, which might have been special about this seed, but I can't really think of anything right now. So, yeah.
Yeah, well, GG's again. I'll turn it back over here to Rick to kind of close this out with any last thoughts.
Yep, absolutely. GG's to both of these teams. Be sure to give them a big follow for both of these. I know Ramond does a lot of cross keys, and you can learn a lot of things by watching runners like Ramond route these things, just like you did right here. And also be sure to follow Freddeh for a lot of great content as well. And a big thank you to the 2 trackers we had for this, Ike here, as well as So last summer. Thank you very much for doing the button clicking for this race right here.
Yeah, and thanks to you as well, Rick, for doing the commentary with me as well. It's been a good time.
Absolutely. If you want more action here in the league, you can check out SpeedGaming 4, where right now we are 15 minutes into the race between Jay Meisher from the Tile Roomies and Solski in Pug Trio. They'll be doing a hard map compass shuffle over on SpeedGaming 4, so check that out. And then tomorrow, more in the league happening as Dr. Mario goes up for the spoilers and Vortex of Doom goes for Team Go. And I do believe they're doing an Randomizer for that tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. All right, so that's going to do it for us. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you for more League on the various channels of SpeedGaming and ALTTPR League as well. And if you want to stay up to date with what's going on in the league, you can go online to ALTTPRleague.com. So that's going to do it for us. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you on the next edition of Link to the Past Randomizer League. I'm Adirondack Rick. And that's Gem Bro and Company, and thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time.